right, we'll switch gears. Joining us now, Rich Lowry, editor-in-chief of National Review, and Liz Peek, syndicated columnist and Fox News contributor. Thanks to both of you. So, Liz, federal judges, they cannot appoint themselves president. I mean, they just can't. It's not in the Constitution. Even though they don't even like the 1789 Act, but 1798 Act. The Constitution was 1789, wasn't it? So that even came before this act. So I think this guy is very confused. But all these federal judges are very confused. They think they're president.
Well, that's really at the heart of the resistance right now, right? Because Democrats have no ability to really push back on the things that Trump is doing. So they've sort of seconded that effort, if you will, to the federal judiciary. And I got to say, I mean, I think that I'm very happy that Trump did not have these planes turn around and come home because a judge raises his hand and say, I don't like what you're doing. And that was basically the gist of it, right? There was no, I'm not a lawyer, and perhaps I'm wrong, but I didn't hear a tremendous legal justification for canceling that order. And it is rather remarkable that it's perfectly okay for the prior president to import all these gang members, but illegal for this president to deport these gang members, right?
I mean, Carrie Urban raised a very interesting point, our legal analyst, earlier in the show. You know, you may as well, foreign countries should negotiate with federal district judges.
Yeah, right.
The president's not important. He's not in charge of foreign policy. I don't know what he's in charge of, by the way, because he can't review federal spending, and he can't toss people out for being unbelievable criminals, and he can't make foreign policy. So maybe we shouldn't have a president, according to these
we saw this
judges.
weird dynamic that Liz just points to in the first term, where Obama could do DACA unilaterally, but Trump couldn't reverse it unilaterally. What sense does that make? So anything involving his core foreign policy powers, a determination that a pro-Hamas protester is against our national interests that Marco Rubio is making, or a determination that tariffs are in response to an emergency. None of that, if it gets up to the Supreme Court, is going to be reversed. They give a wide berth of latitude for presidents to make those kind of determinations. So it'll be frustrating getting there, but eventually on a lot of this stuff, they'll win.
Can we still play the tape from Marco Rubio? Because it's very good. It's very direct. It's very blunt. Hang on one second. Maybe we can play some tape. Here it comes. Here it comes. Hang on. Hang on.
Good tap dancing, Larry. You're good at this.
Yeah, yeah.
You'll be on live TV.
No. I'll start vamping. I've got plenty of stuff to talk about, but we have it. Here it comes.
When you apply to enter the United States and you get a visa, and if you tell us when you apply for a visa, I'm coming to the U.S. to participate in pro-Hamas events, that runs counter to the foreign policy interest of the United States of America. If you had told us that you were going to do that, we never would have given you the visa. Now you're here. Now you do it. So you lied to us. You're out. It's that simple.
It's that simple. There's a guy after my own heart. That is it. Full stop. End of sentence.
Well,
and
you
he's
know,
right.
I have
so
to
this
say,
is going to apply to this Khalil character and others of his ilk, right?
Yeah.
And it's going to apply to a lot of other things as well.
But and really, Marco Rubio has been on the front lines of negotiating some of these agreements, like the agreement, by the way, with El Salvador, which allows us to send people, gang members and so forth, to those horrible prisons. I think he's just... Every day he's coming out and just explaining what they're doing. And as you say, it's crystal clear, makes all the sense in the world. And I think most Americans agree with him.
And you know who knows this, Larry, is people who are in here on visas or on a green card. They are afraid of parking on the wrong side of the street. They know they need to abide by every single rule because they could be out of here. And that's why so many immigrants were opposed by what Biden was doing, just letting people in willy-nilly when they have to be obsessed with following the rules. And by this way, Khalil, he showed a cognizance of guilt, right? He said, I don't do a lot of media because I'm here on a visa and I can't let them know I'm pro-Hamas or I might get in trouble.
So I have to follow up. You're the longtime editor of National Review, great conservative magazine. The new conservative hero, wait for it, hang on a second, wait a second, is Chuck Schumer, okay, and all the left-winger, all the nuts in the Democratic Party are piling on poor Chuck Schumer. What do you make of this?
Yeah, you know, he's had to cancel his book tour out of security concerns.
Yes.
On anti-Semitism, the book on anti-Semitism.
The book's on anti-Semitism. And he,
really
several years ago, he warned the conservative Supreme Court justice, you better watch what you're doing, you're going to reap the whirlwind. Well, now he's reaping the whirlwind because he crossed his own side, doing something that was inevitable in the right political political call, right? A shutdown would have been even more of a disaster for a party that has its lowest ratings ever in the CNN and NBC polls.
Dems are not having fun, Liz.
Oh my
Dems
gosh.
are not having a good time.
Worst ratings ever. And there are just, remember the green sprouts? There are a couple of green sprouts of some Democrats getting their brains back. There's a representative in Pennsylvania, Chris Deluzio, is saying, wrote an op-ed in the New York Times saying, actually, I'm not, tariffs can make sense for our country. The UAW has come around to tariffs. I think they're beginning to get it, that they're just on the wrong side of so many issues that are important to taxpayers.
Indeed. Rich Lowry, Liz Peek, thank you very much. We appreciate it.